was even more broken and depressed. And I remember I was at this like constant low for 2 years. I'll either not going to sleep for 2-3 nights a week. I couldn't sleep. I would sleep like 2-3 hours, or when I sleep, I didn't want to wake up. So I was constant. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Constance here. Today it's a very special episode where I wanted to share straight from my heart. It's the story of how I recover from a high function depression and also suffer from a total burnout. I remember vividly the time was 2017 to 18. At the time I was in my late 20s. I guess I was a little bit naive. I started my own digital marketing agency thinking that would free me from working the crazy long hours that I had in an advertising agency. I was thinking that if I take up a few jobs, I could have more time to myself and I could be more flexible with my time. This was the impression of being an entrepreneur. I guess the good news and also the bad news was business started to grow. I was a little bit desperate because I do not have a lot of business knowledge, and suddenly like my dream life of being free becomes this burden because I begin hiring and I have this whole team to support. I begin desperate looking for working partners, like potential co-founders. I begin pulling in people desperately, and I guess I was too green and I didn't have any like written agreement. I was agreeing to some very, very unfair terms, which I said I will review later, and I just like want to give it a try. Of course, unsurprisingly, a lot of conflicts come up, conflicts around personnel, conflicts around profit splitting, which eventually led to the day where my old partners took my entire team, the staff that I've trained so hard, they just like left the company. But I still have all this like retainer and contracts with me, right? So there's nothing I can do. I can only bite the bullet. I didn't want to disappoint my clients, so I would just like still go into office. I remember my partner like would come back at night and took all my computers, and it was a mess. And I was so traumatized coming back to the office with no one that I would just puke before coming to the office because I was so stressed. I'll still work, I'll still deliver, I will still perform well, and I look happy in front of my family and friends. But deep down, I was so unhappy to a point that sometimes I didn't want to wake up in the morning because there is absolutely nothing to look forward to in my life. Well, to make matter worse, like in my personal life, my boyfriend at that time cheated on me. I forgave him, but he repeatedly cheated on me, and that didn't help onto the whole thing. So I was even more broken and depressed. And I remember I was at this like constant low for 2 years. I'll either not going to sleep for 2-3 nights a week. I couldn't sleep. I would sleep like 2-3 hours, or when I sleep, I didn't want to wake up. So I was constantly tired, and I at that time I even took up a new role because I thought that would distract me from how unhappy I am. So I'll be constantly tired and drained. Sometimes when I have a break, when I'm on my own, I'll just cry for no apparent reason. Yeah, that was pretty scary. But at the time, I still took on more roles. I took on a consultant job and hoping that that would distract me. And well, I didn't know that there's anything wrong with me per se because I was still functioning so well. And but deep down, I was so unhappy inside. I just want everything to stop. I was so tired. So the good news is in 2020, yeah, like that took me 2-3 years, things started to change. I remember one of my close girlfriends, she was like, "Oh, I saw this like outdoor exercise group that I wanted to try. Would you like to come with me?" And yeah, sure, like why not? I was like, I always like exercise. I just never had time. I barely exercised the past 3 years. I would go to gym and but I would just like I guess like walk on the treadmill and I never even get my heartbeat up. And but I thought I was taking care of myself. And I'll go to this workout group and I begin falling in love with it. Um, I joined regularly, weekly, and they were doing something called HIIT, like high, low interval training. I couldn't do a lot of things at first, but my trainer was very funny, and so we laughed a lot. We're mainly girls there, and we had so much fun. I remember the sense of progress from not being able to do one single push up, not even on knee, to doing 20 at the end of only the first 3 months. I was really happy, and I have not been happy for the longest time for like 3 years. So the second thing was because exercising gives me so much joy and laughter, I become going there more often than weekly, doing it 2 to 3 times a week. And then I took up this challenge. It's a 6 week challenge, basically a total overhaul of your habits, like on eating and exercising. So it was like a big challenge because it challenged us to exercise 4 to 5 times a week with 1 day stretching. And we also have to eat only whole food. So it was really challenging for me. I barely cook for myself. My mom always took care of me. So I began cooking for myself. It radically changed my views on food. We only have 1 day of cheat day each week where we can eat anything we like. That's still pretty good because I only have 1 day to eat any food I like. I would pick good restaurants. I would really salvage that opportunity. I had this stomach issue. I have like a little bit of IBS. And so after this like 6 week journey was like a miracle. I never even had one single time where I had a tummy ache. It was so life changing. My skin was glowing and everyone around me saying that I look younger. But you know, the thing is like I'm not a fitness trainer. I'm not trying to promote absolute bikini body here. I'm talking about the joy of making progress, the joy of laughing, the joy of knowing that you can do this next move and you can endure. It just changed you fundamentally. I begin with this low and I fill myself up and I was having the most stable emotion for the longest time. So from the first 6 week, I begin doing another 6 week after a break, another 6 week. I end up doing it for 4.5 months. And I'll say it was also during the time of COVID, so a lot of people don't eat out. So it was the perfect time where I packed my lunch. I know a lot of people gain weight, but as a byproduct, besides being happy, I actually lose weight. And I was fittest and I look the youngest through the past 3 years. Show you pictures later on. I was really, really happy. Before I would have this emotion fluctuation, I would have this deep, and if I see my friends, perhaps I'll be happier. And other times I'll be on the very low side, I'll cry, and sometimes I'll be happy, very fluctuated. But after exercising, it really like stabilized me. I have this like constant joy, this like inner glow. This is like very miraculous to me. 4.5 months of hard work for a lifestyle of like total change. I still stick with this like exercising habit until today. It's been 2 years and the 4.5 months is like totally worth it. And the third thing that really helps me is being part of a community. I try exercising alone, but it's not the same. When you have a community of like-minded people, I remember after each workout, me and a few new friends would go and have coffee together. So it's almost like a reward. We had like so much laughter, and it's like self-creating like dopamine and serotonin after the training. The training gives you like adrenaline boost, which is already a mood booster. And then if I reward myself with a mocha or like coffee, I would just have this extra dose of dopamine and serotonin. So I think happiness is actually really simple. And because I was so focused into completing this challenge, basically I shift my focus entirely off all those like sad things that I had. It's not that I have not dealt with it after, right? I still, when I'm in a better shape, when I'm in a better health, I went back and revisit what I learned. I also tried to move on finally from it by facing it. My point is that if you feel stuck in a rut for a prolonged period of time, or you have like high function depression like me, that you're just so unhappy inside, but everything else seems okay and going smooth, perhaps try attending interest groups. Work-life balance is a must if you want to have a sustainable business and a sustainable career. Like, don't get burned out like me, like that I one day just like wanted to give up everything. Or like one day if you get sick, think about how many days that you lose. It's very hard to be productive and happy when you're unhealthy. So I would recommend like joining something that you like, so you have something to look forward to, something that's not super challenging to you. Talking to like-minded people really changes things, especially in times during COVID where we still don't have a lot of face-to-face interactions. Classes are taken online, so I miss that, like talking to people, seeing people's like facial expression, looking them into the eye instead of the camera. I'm really thankful that I stumbled upon this opportunity of getting myself active and moving, not just like casually, right, but regularly, and make it into a habit, and that really helps me with my sleep, emotion. So my conclusion is that it's very important to find something that motivates you and know what your motivation is. So my motivation would be like really having the element to socialize and like just like get my mind off things, talking about silly things. So having someone like a accountability person, like a partner that someone would push me, work out with me, like my personal trainer, like group class coach, someone that's very positive, really helps me. And the second thing that motivates me would be the sense of progress. I was progressing slowly, and slowly I begin to be able to lift heavier, and the sense of progress just like keep me hooked, and I keep coming back for more. And that's why I was able to put behind what's unhappy, what's bothering me, to focus completely, because there is a little bit of a sense of challenge and also progress and also reward right there. So that keeps me with my habit. Of course, like staying fitter too and looking younger too. What's not to like about exercising? I hope you like my sharing today. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and let me know what you wanted to know next. Thank you very much. I read all of your comments and it encouraged me so much. Have a nice day.